Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today's message, I want to ask you guys a question, and it is a super important question, one in which I am consistently chatting with amazing human beings across the globe, and they're all stumped by this question, and it is, have you consciously chosen your identity? Or are you too busy trying to be somebody else and somebody that you're not? So why I really feel called to bring this message to you guys today is ultimately this question is one that has completely revolutionized my life. It was the question that I needed in order to break free of a life an unfulfilling path for myself, one that was totally not who I was, and stopped me from operating in this realm of like never knowing who I was and constantly shifting, changing, depending on who I was engaging with as to who I was and how I chose to show up, what I'd choose to value, and all of those sort of things. And I had a beautiful session with one of my beautiful clients this morning, and this sort of idea came up in terms of, how we're showing up, how we lose who we are, we lose our identity. A lot of the time that can happen in relationship because we fall in love with somebody and, we're operating in the realm of who we think they want us to be a lot of the time when we meet somebody special, and we're on our best behavior and we want to show up in the best way possible to ensure that something moves forward in this relationship. And what happens is we tend to lose our identity if we keep on that path. And where it all stems from, and what I was talking to this beautiful client of mine about this morning, was between the ages of 0 to 7 years old, we as individuals, as little individuals, we are trying to decipher who we need to be in order to gain the love, approval, acceptance, validation, all of that from the person that we crave the most love from. So the first question I want to ask you guys is really, who was it in your childhood that you absolutely craved the most love from? For some of us it's our mum, for some it's our dad, for some of it's a totally other caregiver, but I really want you to identify who was that person. And I will just put it out there that most people, they're going to have the answer of their father, purely because, and you guys have heard me talk into the differences between motherly love, fatherly love, but ultimately, as a massive generalization, but it's a pattern that I've seen time and time again, with our mothers, generally mothers are going to give unconditional love. So we think that love is kind of easy. It's kind of, we don't have to fight for it. It's kind of like a given, that motherly love. But when it comes to our amazing dads, they have what's called fatherly love. It's more of a challenge. It's it's not going to be so freely given. It's sort of like, hey, I see your potential, step up and own it. And, you kind of get those little pieces of acknowledgement throughout your journey. And we need that. We have to have both. It is so healthy to have both. We need the support and we need the challenge. And that actually equals true love. So we need all of that, but what it actually ends up doing a lot of the time, and like I said, this is a generalization about the patterns that I've witnessed, and what happens is, through those ages of 0 to 7, a lot of us identify that we crave the love from our father the most because it wasn't so freely given, and we really want it, we desire it, and so what happens is we attach to the figure, whoever that is that we crave the most love from, and we make up in our minds from that 0 to 7 years old age bracket who we need to be in order to gain the love, approval, validation, significance from that figure. And so, as you can imagine, at that young age, we don't have much emotional intelligence. We're not really thinking things through. We haven't had much experience of life to actually create this identity of who we are and how we're going to show up in the world. And so you can see how if we leave ourselves creating that identity as to who we think we need to be in order to gain love, and we never re-question that, so we go with the flow as to whatever we decide is the answer to that, whoever we think we need to be in order to gain that love, from that, until we're at the age of 7, you can see how we can get stuck in this, this identity that is not us at all, because we haven't even discovered who we are. We haven't had enough experience. We haven't consciously created, or identified who we really are at our core and our highest selves and our most free selves. And so a lot of people who enter the self-development realm, they get introduced to a question like this. Like for me, I didn't even know anything. I didn't even consciously think about, do I consciously choose who I am or identify who I am? I just thought, I am me, I'm Vanessa, I'm a student, I work here, I do this, I have these friends, I have this partner, whatever. And we kind of create this collage of who we think we are if we're questioned. But deep down, what's really driving and motivating us is who we think we need to be in order to gain that love from that significant figure that we crave the most love from at such an early age. And so why I want to bring this message to you guys today, and why I think it is one of the most powerful messages and questions for us to ask ourselves, is really ultimately, if you are not feeling fulfilled, if you are feeling confused, stuck, you don't know what your purpose is, you don't know who you really are, you're kind of going through the motions of life, and you're just not feeling fulfilled, and you're finding that you're getting stuck in these addictive or negative patterns, whatever they might be, some sort of unhealthy pattern, whether that is in your relationships, or whether it's with drugs or alcohol, or just a way that you treat yourself. Maybe it's with food, whatever it is. There's all these different unhealthy sort of patterns that can shine light on the fact that we don't know who we are, because we're still operating, or we think we know who we are, but we're still operating from this identity that we molded together at such a young age in order to gain this love and approval, instead of actually being free to identify and go on that journey, that experience to identify who we really are. And ultimately we get stuck here, and we don't know why we feel the way that we feel. But I'm telling you guys, the sooner you can identify and go on that journey, no matter how long it takes, to truly get to the core of you, of who you are, of what matters most to you as an individual, of what your values are, without the filter of anybody else in your life, and you have the courage to align fully with that, without worrying about who's going to abandon you or leave you or whatnot. And that is ultimately our ticket to freedom, when we start to consciously question who we've become, why we do what we do, and actually identify and go on this journey of, is this working out for me? Am I feeling truly fulfilled, like I'm growing, I'm progressing, I'm making a meaningful difference in this world? Or am I not? And if you're not, like so many beautiful human beings, myself used to be included, and I know I've got far to go, I know I've got many more layers to unravel, and next layers of my growth as well. But who I was before, like, I have so much compassion for everybody who feels that way, because I was completely lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just pretending. I was pretending that I was happy. I was pretending that I was fulfilled. I was pretending that I was on the right path. I was pretending that I was in the right relationships. I was pretending that, all of these different things in my life, I was just in this big cloud of pretense, and I couldn't even acknowledge that I was in that to myself, because it was just too scary. And when I got introduced to this question and this way of even thinking about, like, well, what do I really want? If I stop thinking about everybody else or who I think I need to be in order to gain their love or approval, who would that be? How could I feel totally free? What are those parts of me that I feel most like me, most free, most authentic, most energized by? And when we can do that and go on that journey and stop expecting ourselves to have all the answers right here, right now, or yesterday, and we actually just have, compassion for ourselves and have enough love for ourselves to say, hey, it's okay, you know, you don't quite know right now. You're in this spot of confusion, but you know what? We're going to figure it out. And I'm willing to go on that journey no matter how long it takes and no matter what I have to leave behind, because I know that true and lasting fulfillment and freedom can only be born from me going on this journey and identifying, you know, what are those beliefs that I'm holding on to from such a young age that are determining the course of my life, and it's not working out. So what am I going to change? Because we all know the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, or, you know, handballing your happiness to somebody else in your life, you know, that next relationship or that next new thing that you're going to do, or that next course or that next degree you're going to get, whatever it is. Your happiness, your fulfillment, your freedom and your authenticity lies nowhere else but within yourself. So you need to go on that journey, and the first place that you need to start, you know, that first step is always self-awareness. You cannot move forward in any direction if you don't know where you currently are on the map, and that takes honesty and it takes courage and it definitely takes energy. And I'm not gonna lie, like, you are going to be emotionally drained going on this journey, but if you can stick with it, if you can stay with it, I'm telling you, like, you will look back on this moment in your life and you will be so grateful that you were introduced to a new way of thinking, a new perspective that shifted you out of a life that was totally unfulfilling, and maybe you weren't willing to admit it to yourself, but now you have a new vantage point and you can really look back and you can identify, wow, like, imagine life continuing on that path, you know, and imagine where I would be, and just see where you are right now, you know, and take a long-term perspective, take a meta perspective on your life, you know. It doesn't, you know, go through the emotional drain right now so that you can ultimately have true freedom, true fulfillment, true happiness and alignment with the truth of who you are. And that's when you leave the old people behind. And I know that's scary right now when you don't have the answers as to who you are, so you don't feel strong enough to do it on your own. But, you know, I'm telling you from looking back on my journey that it is so beautiful to be able to get yourself to that position where you no longer are in such fear of leaving people behind, because you trust that you living in alignment, you're going to attract a whole new quality of person who is so in alignment with who you are that you can be all of who you are. You know, you have that freedom, and you don't have to get into these egoic sort of relationships or connections and be in such fear and pretense around who you are. You know, that's not what life is about. Life is about being true to who you are. You've got to identify it to be able to do that, and staying fully in alignment and discovering each next new level and layer of the truth of who you are and the next level of your limitless potential. So I'm really hoping that today's message is resonating with you guys, and I really hope that after today's message, I want you to, all of you amazing action takers out there, you know, I want you to really be taking action on these messages. So I really want you to get maximum value, and the way that you do that is you get yourself in a new perspective, a new way of thinking, which is what these messages are all about, and then you do the work. You sit down, you journal about this, you ask yourself these questions, and you take action as soon as these messages shut off. Like, get into action. Keep in that momentum. Rewatch these videos if you need to, but I want you to get clear. Ask yourself, take yourself back to your childhood. Ask yourself, who was that person in my life that I craved the most love from? And who did I make up that I needed to be in order to gain their love and approval? And you're going to find some patterns. Maybe you needed to be the high achiever. Maybe you needed to be the strong one, the funny one, you know, the one who just held everything together, or, you know, whatever it is, the artistic one, you know, whatever you thought you needed to be in order to gain that love. You know, for me, it was, I knew I needed to be a highly academic. I knew I needed to be a lawyer or a doctor, or, an engineer or something like that. That's what I just had it in my head, and there was no question about it. I didn't question it. I just identified that's who I need to be in order to gain the love. And that's where I went on that journey my whole life. And I always felt lost. Even at uni, I hated it. Like I felt like I was living a lie like every day, but I was living a lie within myself. Like I didn't even know that consciously. And it wasn't until I was like 25 until, I actually was like faced with these kind of questions, like, this question about, did you consciously choose your identity, or have you been too busy trying to be somebody that you're just not? And it was a rude awakening for me. And so I want you guys to have the courage to own this, because life begins when you acknowledge the truth of what's going on in your life, what's not working. Just own it. And if you need support and encouragement and a crew of people who have your back, then I really encourage you to join the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community. That is why I set that group up for you guys, and why there's so many beautiful human beings who contribute to that each and every day to help inspire, to help encourage, and to show you that we will be there to support you no matter what. I really do believe in the power of having somebody to have your back, whether it's one person, many people, whatever it is. And sometimes you don't have the privilege of having those people in your life. And I know the power of that to fast track your success and get you into a place of true courage and momentum. So please, if you haven't already, come on over and join that group. We'd love to have you a part of it. It is super inspiring, and a place where you can get the support that you need to make these challenging decisions and questions, so that you can identify exactly where you are, exactly where you want to get to, and close the gap so that you can live the next level of your limitless potential. So I really hope that this is resonating with you guys. I want to check in with you, and I also want to let you know, before I check in, make sure you're asking me any questions or comments. I love, you guys know how much I love engaging with you and how much you guys energize me. And I've been up since 2:30 this morning, and I was feeling seriously flat. So I'm like, I've got to jump on this Facebook Live because you guys energize me so much. And I've got to stay up really, really late tonight because the AFL Grand Final is on and my team is in the Grand Final. Go the Richmond Tigers. But yes, I want to also just let you know before I jump in the chat room is ultimately, if you are somebody who would like some personal guidance and support and help with this is why I open up those 15-minute power sessions. I want to be able to help you as an individual, to connect with you, to meet you exactly where you're at, to help you with your current challenge so that I can help in some way to shift your perspective and help you break through, because life begins at the breakthrough. So definitely do that as well. I've linked it up. I've added some extra times to my calendar. So I'd love to connect with you and meet you there as well. So let's check in. I've got Lisa and Ella Varison and Tanya and Omar and Fazia and Kamal and Leroy and Dennis. Thank you for being here. And Leanne and Kamal and Noraz and yes, very good morning to you. Nice to meet you live as well, Ella Varison. Thank you for being here. And Elliot and Moises, hello to you, and Star Style and Shay and Gabrielle. Hi Vanessa, I give too much to others, which is causing them to value themselves above me, specifically my family. Okay, I always love you joining me, Gabrielle, and I absolutely love and honor you for sharing your experience here. And what I would say is that there's many different angles to go with this, but what I would say to you is that we train others how to treat us. So take full ownership and responsibility for how others are treating you in your life, because it's a much more empowering place. And so we can get so stuck in seeing what others are doing and what they're doing wrong. And I know that you are somebody who has such a genuine, kind and giving heart. And I can see that through everything that I've engaged with you so far, Gabrielle. And I want to send you much love for that. And you know, that giving to others, never lose that, because that is one of the greatest gifts and the most beautiful things that we can do for others. But never, ever give at the expense of the truth of who you are. So I would get you, Gabrielle, to actually question whether you're giving too much, because you're labeling it giving too much, which signifies to me that you are getting to a place of resentment, which ultimately means that you're giving at the expense of your truth. You're over giving, and that's taking away from you. So I'd get you to ask yourself, why am I over giving to these people? And I would get you to identify that, because a lot of the time, and myself included, this was always my journey as well, and I continue to have to pick myself up and get myself back on the straight and narrow with this one as well. But like giving in order to seek that validation and fill that void within ourselves that only we can truly fulfill. So the more you can give to yourself, the more you can be more open to freely give to others, but in a way that doesn't impede on the truth of who you are and doesn't overextend yourself, to the place where you're getting resentful and you're feeling like these people in your life, they're treating you in a way where you don't have any needs, because you're not training them that you do have needs, because you're not giving to yourself. So that was just a really, really quick insight there, Gabrielle. I really hope that those comments helped you, served you. I'd love to connect with you if you'd like any further guidance to get a little bit more background in terms of what's going on for you. So if that's interesting, definitely book in a call with me. I'd love to connect and help you in any way I can. And thanks again for sharing. And Rian and Rashad and Elliot, it is some more painful trying to be who we are, not than it is to just be who we are, warts and all. Absolutely. It is like the most draining, and I'm speaking from experience here, it is like the most draining experience ever to be somebody who you are not. I really do believe that when we are not being authentically us, we are totally drained. We get into states of depression. We can't really move forward. We're in a state of confusion. And it is when we actually start to identify the truth of who we are and we move and shift in alignment with that, we tap into this unlimited energy source. It is phenomenal how much energy is generated from just being true, just being totally honest, totally transparent, totally authentic. To me, it is just like the most freeing experience of my life, and it's something that it is my main focus, is to continue to unravel the next layer of my authenticity and just be it, because there's no energy drain on pretense or anything like it. It is just the most freeing, most engaging way of living your life. So I absolutely agree with you there, Elliot, and thank you so much for sharing. And Dennis, thanks for joining. And Gariel, teen girls are the most challenging. Yeah, so are you telling me that you've got a teenage daughter? Yeah, I can only speak from being a teenage girl, and I think I was very challenging. And Alina and Andy, thank you so much for your kind words there. And Bina and Shayla, hi, how can I increase my communication skills? Okay, so communication skills, just as a side topic on today's one, I would just say to you, just as a quick little bit of value, hopefully, is that we get better with communication when we are feeling more confident within ourselves, and we get more confident within ourselves when we identify who we really are and we're living in alignment with what matters most to us, what our values are, without filtering it through anybody in our external world, no matter how much we love them. And so I would say that lack of having communication skills, if your communication skills are lacking, I would always start with the foundational piece of the self, confidence, being in alignment with what matters most to us without the filters through anybody in our external world. So if you are unclear about who you are, what you want, and you're not in alignment with that, because you can't be if you don't know, then that is where I would say to start. Your communication skills will start to figure themselves out as soon as you are in alignment, and that's when you can start tapping into more so strategy, talking specifically into communication skills. So I hope that was of value to you. Shayla, I appreciate your question. Let me know if I can clear anything up for you. And Akka and Andy, I'm shy. What do I do? very, very similar to what I just answered there, Andy. You know, we're shy because we're lacking confidence within ourselves. And the reason why we lack confidence within ourselves is because we're not clear. We don't have clarity over who we really are, and we're definitely not in alignment with that. So I'm like, that is why I do what I do. The work that I do is helping individuals to absolutely identify the truth of who they are, identify and get absolute clarity around what they really want, and have the courage to step into who they are, align with it fully, and go after exactly what they want, because all else falls into place from that point. So I love that you're sharing that and asking that question there, Andy. You've got to go on that journey of self-discovery. If you would like extra guidance on that, definitely book in a 15-minute power session with me. And guys, I've been speaking to so many of you, and so many struggling with this lack of clarity and direction. And just as a little secret side note, I've actually been putting together something for you guys that is really going to help you with this. I'm just trying to correlate a bunch of the tools that I work with my clients with, that really gives you the clarity around who you are, what you want, and having the courage to go after it. And like I say, that is the foundational piece to success and fulfillment and freedom in life. So let me know in the comments if that's something that interests you, because you'll give me a bit of a kick to just like make sure that I get that out to you sooner. But let me know, guys. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you for your question, Andy. I hope that that was helpful. And Ram, I appreciate, as always, you being here. Leroy, I'm loving that you think this is a great message. And Andy, tell me what you're confused about. And Shemetra and Mike and Humayan, and Kirsty and Lewis, thanks for being here, guys. And Francesca, and Jalal, sorry guys, you guys know I'm hopeless with names. And Jalal, yes, Kurdistan, love it. And Hassani and Rita and Bobby, thank you for your kind words there. And Nikki and Lucy's here, I love it. And Shayla and Rut and Haji and Dennis, great minds have purposes, others have wishes. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that purpose, that direction, that clarity that we all seek, because when we have clarity, we have direction, we have purpose, we actually feel free. You know, that it unleashes that energy within us that's been so taken up in that confusion and like, that uncertainty about who we are and what we want. And yeah, absolutely agree with you that, great minds have those purposes, but we get a great mind by doing the work to build our emotional intelligence so that we can get the clarity, so that we can get on purpose. So I love that, Dennis. Thanks for sharing your words of wisdom here. And Rashed, you're welcome. And Asuma, thanks for being here. And Hassani, do I even need to say how much you've already helped me in this area? Thank you. Freedom to be myself is the most gratifying thing. You've helped me unlock my inner self. Hassani, you just are lighting me up every single day. I appreciate you so much. And you know, I love that you give me some credit in terms of your personal growth, but ultimately it's you showing up every single day. I witness you doing the work, and you are such a phenomenal human being. So keep showing up and keep contributing, and you are an absolute rock star in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community. You are lighting up so many lives in there. So thank you for being there, and thank you for being you, and thank you so much for the love and appreciation and gratitude you so freely give. So much appreciation. And William's here, I love it. And Dana, hi Vanessa, I want so much to be in the life that allows me to be me. What do you do when your finances won't let you? Dana, I know where your mind goes. I know like the number one excuse, there's two excuses that everybody always has, and they are, I don't have the money and I don't have the time. But ultimately, I love what Tony Robbins says about this. It's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. So when you want something bad enough, you will find a way, I'm telling you. So what I would say to you, Dana, is I get it. You want a life that allows you to be you, but I would challenge you to get really clear about what that looks like. So clear that you can feel it. And when you can feel it, it's going to pull you through. You are going to find a way, because you don't have to have finances to live in alignment with the truth of who you are. It doesn't have to cost a dime. You know, there are so many incredible resources out there that are here to help and support you to identify that and go on that journey. There's incredible books. You know, I'm reading some, like, books have changed my life. Like, I know that they would have for so many of you out there. And what are they? Go to a secondhand bookstore. You can get a billion, like, some of the best books I've ever got that changed my life were from secondhand bookstores, like old books that cost nothing. And Dana, I love that you are on that journey, and I really love that you are so clear that you do want a life that allows you to be fully you, but you've got to go on that journey, identify exactly who you are, and what does that life look like if you are in alignment with the truth of who you are. Absolutely feel it, and that will be your juice to get more resourceful and not use an excuse like finances. We all have struggles if we get in that mindset in terms of time and money. So know that about human beings, and know that there are many, many ways. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to, you know, get to an event that's going to change your life. You've got to just get resourceful and committed. And the way you do that is have clarity over what that life looks like. So you can compare it to the life that you're living right now, and you just get to a point where enough is enough, and you will find a way. Thank you so much, Dana. I hope that was valuable to you. Let me know. And good morning to you, and have a permanent positive energy. I love it. Yes, absolutely. And Ed, and yes, Hassani, go Tigers. I'm super excited. And Mark, you're always so welcome. And Danielle, hi to you, and Murad, and Bara, and Murad, okay, and Rashid. I practice in local elections, 2018. I want to be honest to myself and the people. You're insecure and afraid. Okay, you know, all of these things, all of these insecurities, or all of our fears, they are coming from the fact that we don't have that. You know, I've got to say that all of your internal strength is coming from that place of living in alignment with the truth of who you are. Make it your life's purpose to continue to identify that next layer of who you really are and align with it, no matter what the voices, opinions, and judgments are in your external world. I'm telling you, you gain more and more momentum, and that is where all of those fears dissipate. You've got to be true to yourself, and you've got to show up in alignment and be true to the world. And from that place, like, truth is your ultimate strength. Absolutely, hands down. There's nothing else that comes close. Everything else is a fallacy and a fantasy. So I really honor you for sharing your journey here, Ashed, and I would really encourage you to go on that journey. Go deep with uncovering the truth of who you are and aligning with it. Stop filtering through everybody else, and that is where your strength is. You'll regain that security within yourself, and you'll get past those childish fears like we all have. So I love that, Rashid. I hope that was helpful. Jeremy's here. I love it. And Lisa, thank you so much. Yeah, I gone a bit crazy with some pink. Nice change up, and thank you. And Albert, and much love to you, Murad, and Ray's here, and Gary, and Jeremy, Wisdom. I love the Vanessa Jane Patrick show. I love you being here, Jeremy. You are amazing. You are an absolute superstar, as you know. And Judy's here, and Frank, always a pleasure to listen to your messages. Oh, Frank, I'm so grateful to have you here, and I'm grateful that these messages resonate with you, and I always love seeing you show up. So thanks for being here. And Lucy's here. I love it. And Kamel, thank you for your compliments there. And Adrian's here. I love it. And Jimmy and Corey and Julio and Adrian, fantastic catching these live shows. Awesome. I always love getting you joining, and always lights me up and puts a smile on my face. So thanks for being here, Adrian. And Lucy, I'm stepping into the on-purpose living, and wow, V, it seems this sleeping giant waking up. Clarity is starting to manifest itself. I love that, Lucy. I always love you sharing parts of your journey. I love to see your transformation, you know, over the short period of time that I have gotten the absolute pleasure of getting to meet you and know you. I'm already seeing your transition and the shifts in your mindset, and I love it. So thank you so much for sharing that, and I honor you on that journey. And it takes courage and determination and someone like you and others to believe in me. Absolutely, Lucy. And you know, we all need that person in our life or people in our lives to, you know, at some point, you know, maybe believe in us when we're not so much believing in ourselves, to give us that kickstart, that momentum, so that we can get to that place of fully believing in ourselves from a place of strength. And ultimately, when we get to that place, we just want to give it back and help and support others. And guys, that is what the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community is all about. It's for both people. It's for the people who need a little bit of encouragement, support, and somebody to believe in them, to get them kick-started into this next layer of their limitless potential. And it's also for you amazing people who are already going for it, you know, and you are reaching back and you're supporting and encouraging and inspiring the people behind you, and you're reaching for, you know, what's next. And that is the beauty of that group. So I love that. And thanks, Lucy. And Bogdan, thanks for being here. And Dana, you're so welcome. And Melita, thanks for being here. And Bogdan, you're so welcome. I'm loving that you're getting some insights here. And Gabrielle, thank you for sharing your life lessons and your own journey of growth with us, Vanessa. You are on the right track. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you, Gabrielle. And I so love that you are getting value from me being open and honest and sharing with you guys. And I'm showing you guys, hopefully, that you know, this is what authenticity looks like. You just got to put it out there and stop having the fears. And you can do that when you generate that place of strength, because you start to know who you are and you're living in alignment with that. And I love that, Gabrielle. And thank you so much for your kind words. You've touched my heart. So I appreciate you so much. And thank you for being here. And Adrian, thank you so much. And same to you, Joe. Thank you. And Lisa. Hi, Vanessa. I was trying to set up a Skype with you, but I've never used Skype. I have it on my computer, but I'm not sure what my Skype name is. No worries, Lisa. If you don't have Skype, just add me on Facebook Messenger and we can do a video call from there. So no problems at all. So make sure that you book in the session so we know what time we're jumping on a call. And if you can't manage Skype, like many people don't use it, we can do Facebook Messenger. And Rashid, thank you. Your help is important to all of us. Oh, thank you so much. I'm grateful that that was of value to you. And Adrian, really getting a lot out of the group. Awesome, Adrian. I love having you in there. And aren't they just an amazing group of people? You guys inspire me every day. It's so beautiful. And Spady, thanks for joining. And Hassani, I always have a slip every day. I agree with Lucy. Yes, that belief you transfer onto us is powerful. Now in the inner circle, we can all spread that belief around. Absolutely, you know, and thank you so much for being such a leader of your wisdom in there as well, Hassani. And Lucy, that's the true spirit of receiving the gifts of love and encouragement from mentors like UV, Jeremy, and Hassani, and others in this amazing group. Then it's the pay it forward, give it back. Absolutely. And you know what? All of you guys get that. And I think that's the kind of people that we're attracting into this incredible Limitless Potential Inner Circle community. All these people who want to grow, progress, and contribute. And you guys are always hearing me talk into the fact that your fulfillment is the combination between personal growth and contribution. So that's what this group does. It is a ticket to fulfillment. So I love each and every one of you guys being in there. And Frank, I wish I had the courage to set up a 15-minute session. I wouldn't know what to say. Frank, book in one of these power sessions with me. I want to meet you. I want to connect with you. And if you can't think of anything to say, you know I talk a lot. So definitely book it in. And guys, that really is my message for you guys today. I really hope that all you action takers out there will sit down and write these questions down. Get honest with yourself. Start this journey today. This is where life begins. And I am sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I appreciate you, and I'm sending you so much love. You guys give me so much energy and rock my world, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I love seeing you guys show up day in, day out. You inspire me, and I also love all of you newbies joining, and I hope that you guys gained a ton of value, and I will see you guys tomorrow.